by now. So, hello and welcome to the next episode of the Self Development with Tactics podcast. And as you can see now, this is a little bit a different camera angle for now because this fucking camera is totally shit. And now I'm really able to use my iPhone camera, which seems to be working pretty good, even though if this side of my face isn't really the nice side at this time. The thing is, the production quality is a little bit better, even though the lighting could be a little bit increased, but only a little bit. But for now, I think it's quite fine. I'm just a little bit feared that I push away my camera because I build a construction that's not really, safe, I would say. I'm looking into this camera, which makes me have to look into this camera. And I'm really willing to turn on a flashlight. Some sort of, because that's would make me a little bit more brighter. But nevertheless, as you can see, we are going to talk about how to increase your emotional intelligence. And the thing is, there are two articles I found, one of the Inc.com website and one of Psychology Today. And I think we're actually going to discuss this one because I think there's more in it. And even though it's from 2013 of Preston Nee, MSBA, Communication Success, which is the guy over here, if you can see him. Let's see. Yes, you can totally see him. That's fine. It's really, really fine. I hope, by the way, that the screen isn't too big because it seems really big at this time. But nevertheless, we head right into it. And we're actually going to read the first part of this article because I think they introduce you and me a little bit into this topic. So, emotional intelligence, EQ or EI, can be defined as the ability to understand, manage, and effectively express one's own feelings, as well as engage and navigate successfully with those of others. According to Talent Smart, 90% of high performers at the workplace possess high EQ, while 80% of low performers have low EQ. Emotional intelligence is absolutely essential in the formation, development, maintenance, and what's going on right now. Something to drink would be good, but I do not have anything. Emotional intelligence is absolutely essential in the formation, development, maintenance, and enhancement of close personal relationships, unlike EQ, which is just like this kind of brain intelligence, I would say, which doesn't change significantly over a lifetime. Our EQ can evolve and increase with our desire to learn and grow. And a little bit for this thing, a lot of people might know that there's only one kind of intelligence out there, which they mean is the intelligence like you're good in math or good in, I don't know, physics, and you can learn pretty fast. This this typical kind of a really intelligent person, I would say, but it isn't like it. There's actually different kinds of intelligences, and for example, people who are really not aesthetic but acrobatic, which are pretty good in sports all the time. There's a specific cue for this, and so for emotions, there, as you can see, is another intelligence. But I've talked enough. We're going to head into the first point, which is the ability to reduce negative emotions. Perhaps no aspect of EQ is more important than our ability to effectively manage our own negative emotions so they don't overwhelm us and affect our judgment. In order to change the way we feel about a situation, we must first change the way we think about it. Here are just two examples. A. Reducing negative personalization. When you feel adversely about someone's behavior, avoid jumping to a negative conclusion right away. Instead, come up with multiple ways multiple ways of viewing the situation before reacting. For example, I may be tempered to think my friend didn't return my call because she's ignoring me, or I can consider the ability or the possibility that she's been very busy. When we avoid personalizing or other people's behaviors, we can perceive their expressions more objectively. People do what they do because of them more than because of us. Widening our perspective can reduce the possibility of misunderstanding. And B, reducing the fear of rejection. One effective way to manage our fear or your fear of rejection is to provide yourself with multiple options in important situations, so that no matter what happens, you have strong alternatives going forward. Avoid putting all of your eggs in one basket emotionally by identifying a viable plan B and also a plan C. Should plan A not work out, for example, increased fear of rejection. I'm applying for my dream job. I will be devastated if they don't hire me. The decreased fear of rejection. I'm applying for 3 exciting positions. If one doesn't pan out, there are 2 more I'm well qualified for. For more in-depth information on reducing elemental, so this is just as you can see, this will be a link to another post of them. So if you're interested in it, how to let go of negative thoughts and emotions, maybe I'll actually do this the next time, because it seems pretty great and pretty valuable. So I think for the first point, I'm pretty much in it. And yeah, I do not have quite anything to say about this. The second one, the ability to stay cool and manage stress. This really believes me, really reminds me on the experience I've made with meditation, actually. I'm sorry for that. Maybe I should get myself something to drink. No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm going to get something to drink, actually. So I'm back here, and I hope there was some usefulness behind drinking some water. The ability to stay cool and manage stress really reminded me on the experience I made with with meditation, because through meditation I really kind of got the view over my emotions, especially patience, which I always talk about when I talk about meditation. But I now really know when I get impatient, and then I can really, I see this feeling, or I feel this feeling, and then I'm like, I don't really wanna feel like this now. So I'll let it go. I do not want it. I reject it, some kind of. But let's actually see what they are saying. Most of us experience some level of stress in life. How we handle stressful situations can make a difference between being assertive versus reactive, and poised versus frazzled. When under pressure, the most important thing to keep in mind is to keep our cool. Here are 2 quick tips. If you feel nervous and anxious, put cold water on your face and get some fresh air. Cool temperature can help reduce your anxiety level. Avoid caffeinated or caffeinated. It's caffeinated, I think. Beverages like coffee or cola or energy drinks, which can stimulate your nervousness. I actually believe that if you get really, really cold, or you just lack air, that there's nothing you are thinking about then you need air or you're cold, you know? Maybe just, stop breathing for, let's say, I don't know, 30 seconds could also help. Maybe. Maybe I should try it once. Um, if you feel fearful, depressed, or discouraged, try intense aerobatic exercises. Energize yourself. The way we use our body affects greatly the way we feel. As the saying goes, motion dictates emotion. As you experience the vitality of your body, your confidence will also grow. Yeah, I'm just really, I really like doing sports, and I think that everyone should do some kind of sports because it's just good for your health. And uh, the really first human beings were on the way all the time, and we're just sitting around um, pretty much all the time again. Um, and I think that shouldn't be like this, actually. But that's my opinion. The third point, the ability to be assertive and express difficult emotions when necessary. The ability to be assertive, don't know what that means, and express difficult emotions. I didn't know that there are some kind of difficult emotions. But let's see what they are saying. Being who we are requires that we can talk openly about things that are important to us. That we take a clear position on where we stand on important emotional issues, and that we clarify the limits of what is acceptable and tolerable to use in a relationship. Harriet Lerner, whatever. There are times in all our lives when it's important to set our boundaries appropriately, so people know where we stand. These can include exercising our right to disagree without being disagreeable, saying no without feeling guilty, setting your own priorities, getting what we paid for, and protecting ourselves from duress and harm. One method to consider when needing to express difficult emotion is the XYC technique. I feel X when you do Y. Sorry, I feel X when you do, yes, it's Y. In situation, Z. Here are some examples. If I feel strongly that I should receive recognition from the company based on my contributions, I feel uncomfortable that you expect me to help you over my own priorities. I feel disappoint, disappointed when you didn't follow through when you told me you would. So the method is the XYC technique, which is I feel X when you do Y in a situation Z. That's quite interesting. Avoid using sentences that begin with you and followed by accusation or judgment such as you are or you should or you need to, you. Language followed by such directives put the listener on the defense and make them less likely to be open to what you have to say. And that as well reminds me of something I've learned before, which is you shouldn't really criticize people. And if you're criticizing them, you first of all should tell them something they did good or they are good at. But for example, if you just do not like the design somebody made, it can be like, the font you were using is just pretty great. But the thing is, don't use the but phrase. Do not use the word but, because if you say but, they will instantly know that you're going to say something, not horrible, but something negative to them. So it might be like, I don't know, this font is good, and I would consider to change the color of the whole concept because that would fit better in the whole, I don't know, project itself. Maybe something like this, but do not use the word but. That's seems to be really important. Let's see. Yeah. I'm pretty fast today, I guess. Even though I have to cut out certain things because I'm a stupid motherfucker and I have to go to drink during the session. But let's see the fourth point, and there's actually a lot of value in this article, and I think that I'm going to do a lot more on this website. So it's psychologytoday.com, and how increase your emotional intelligence, six essentials is the title of this article. Because I didn't say it in the beginning, I think. So the ability to stay proactive in the face of difficult person, in the face of a difficult person. Most of us encounter unreasonable people in our lives. We may be stuck with a difficult individual at work or at home. It's easy to let a challenging person affect us and ruin our day. Yeah, it's really easy. What are some of the keys to staying proactive in such situations? Here are 3 quick tips. A. When you feel angry and upset with someone, before you say something you might later regret, take a deep breath and count slowly to 10. In most circumstances, by the time you reach 10, you would have figured out a better way of communicating the issue so that you can reduce instead of complicate the problem. If you're still upset after counting to 10, take a time out if possible and revisit the issue after you calm down. And it's very important, and I've already discussed it on this show, the Self-Development with Tactics podcast, that you shouldn't be really making any decisions in extreme moods. So you shouldn't really make decisions when you're extremely happy and when you're extremely sad or just, I don't know, angry. Because our emotions really decide our decisions. And I know about the thing that you shouldn't really make decision when you're, bad mooded, but I didn't really think about it as if you're good mooded. But it's true. Just, I don't know, for example, you give a higher tip when you're in a restaurant or something. And some things like this, I guess. Even though if it's not just like that horrible or something. But, it's something. Another way to reduce reactivity is to try to put yourself in the difficult individual's shoes, even for just a moment. For example, consider the person you're dealing with and complete the sentence, "It must not be easy. My child is being so resistant, it must not be easy to deal with his school and social pressure. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's true. And I think it's always good to be able to step into someone's shoes, as they say, and see their view of life. And it's really good for marketing as well, because if you know what some people are seeing and what they put their attention to, you know what they need and you can market better. Not some kind of, but for real, or my boss is really demanding, it must not be easy to have such high expectations placed on her performance by management. To be sure, empathetic statements do not excuse unacceptable behavior. The point is to remind yourself that people do what they do because of their own issues. And people always either talk about themselves or they're pretty much only interested in themselves, which is very interesting. And you should definitely, as I've been telling you for at least 10 episodes now, it's pretty interesting if you just keep attention to what people are saying or whom they are blaming, because all the time it's everyone but not themselves. As long as we are being reasonable and considerate, difficult behaviors from others say a lot more about them than they do about us. By depersonalizing, we can view the situation more objectively and come up with better ways of solving the problem. And C, set a consequence. The ability to identify and assert consequences is one of the most important skills you can use to stand down a difficult person. Effectively articulated consequences or consequence gives pause to the difficult individual and compels her or him to shift from violation to respect. In my book, How to Communicate Effectively and Handle Difficult People, consequences presented as 7 different types of power you can utilize to effect positive changes. I didn't really get that paragraph, and therefore I'm reading it again. Set consequence. The ability to identify and assert consequences is one of the most important skills you can use to stand down a difficult person. I don't really know if I should believe in this, or I'm not really emphasizing with it, because I think it comes across like punishing someone because they, I don't know, had a bad day, or you show them the consequences, and I don't know. I think you can talk about everything, and you can really make good decisions with someone instead of against someone, some kind of. But let's see what they say about the 5th one, the ability to bounce back from adversity. I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games 26 times. I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I've failed over and over and over again in my life. And that is why I succeeded. A quote from Michael Jordan, actually. Life is not always easy, we all know that. I just always have to see if I'm not, bad position in terms of the camera, because I'm not really used to it now, but I will. Life is not always easy, we all know that. How we choose the way we think, feel, and act in relation to life's challenges can often make the difference between hope versus despair, optimism versus frustration, victory versus defeat. With every challenging situation we encounter, ask questions such as, what is the lesson here? And I really have to remind myself on these things pretty often, because all the time I'm just fucking something up. I'm like, what can I learn out of it? Because I'm a person, I really hate doing something wrong or losing something, or just losing a game of soccer or something. I can't stand it, to be honest. And I often lose my temper as well, in terms of that, which I should have. I should control it, and I hopefully will sometimes. But let's see. What is the lesson here? How can I learn from this experience? What is most important now? And if I think outside the box, what are some better answers? The higher the quality of questions we ask, the better the quality of answers we will receive. Ask constructive questions based on learning and priorities, and we can gain the proper perspective to help us tackle the situation at hand. Abraham Lincoln lost 8 elections, failed twice in business, and suffered a nervous breakdown before he became the President of the United States, says the Wall Street Journal. So this paragraph seems to be just about, calm down and be patient, for me, in some kind, which is true for me. Patience is something that's difficult for me a lot of times, because I just want to get everything as fast as I can, and I also work in terms of it, and so it's pretty hard if you have to understand that something isn't going to be there, or you won't get something. Also, in terms of this whole thing, I just have to be patient, and it's a skill everybody should be able to use. And actually, this is the last one, and I will do this last one because there's quite a lot of great information in this text. And yeah, the sixth one, the ability to express intimate emotions in close personal relationships. The ability to effectively express and validate tender, loving emotion is essential to maintaining close personal relationships. In this case, effective means sharing intimate feelings with someone in an appropriate relationship in a manner that's nourishing and constructive, and being able to respond affirmatively when the other person does the same. A person's heart withers if it does not answer another heart. Pearl Buck. Psychologist Dr. John Gottman calls the expression of intimate emotions bidding. Bidding can be any method of positive connection between two people desiring a close relationship. For example, verbal bidding. How are you doing? How are you feeling? I love you. I appreciate you. I like it when we talk like this. I'm glad we're spending this time together. You're such a good friend. I'm sorry. I'm sorry because I mispronounced something, but because it's in the text actually. Body language bidding, positive eye contact, hugging, smiling, patting the elbow, arm around the shoulder. Behavioral bidding, offering food or beverage, a personalized card, a thoughtful gift, a needed favor, empathetic listening, engaging in shared activities that create a closer bond. Dr. Gottman's research reveals that close, healthy relationships bid with each other in ways large and small, up to hundreds of times a day. The words and gestures can be a million variations, all of which say, in essence, I care about you. I want to be connected with you, and you're important in my life. Constant and consistent bidding is crucial in the maintenance and development of close personal relationships. It's the vitamin of love. And again, it reminds me of something because I've someday in my life, I don't know when, it's just, I don't know, it's quite a long time ago, I've read something about, I don't know, human behavior or how to handle humans or something like this. And they said that, you know, while you're talking with someone, a nice tap on the shoulder, you notice, just tap on the shoulder like this. So, for example, if you've made like some kind of joke and you say, it wasn't meant like this, it was just a joke, and you tap them a little bit, it's actually something they really like. Maybe shoulder misspelled. What does tapping on the shoulder mean? A shoulder tap is a bit for attention, but by extensions it may refer to shoulder tap, alcohol. Okay, no, I don't know. Don't mean it like with what does a pat on the back mean? An expression or gesture pairs. Oh, never mind. But I hope, and I will tell you the article's title again: How to Increase Emotional Intelligence: 6 Essentials by Psychology Today, from the 5th of October 2013. And I hope I did give you great value there. I haven't been saying a lot in this episode, but it's very interesting how humans behave, I would say. And something I can give you on your way, which helped me just, you know, really by going through hard times and really standing through hard times, these motivational speeches from like Alice Brown or Eric Thompson or even Will Smith. Not long ago, it was kind of a week ago, I found, it's actually a week ago, I found out that my most liked quotes are by Will Smith, actually. And that made me laugh because they're so great. I just have to. Will Smith. Smith. Quote. Maybe. Quote. Too many people spend money they haven't earned to buy things they don't want to impress people they don't like. Money and success don't change people, they merely amplify what is already there. And there's one, I don't know, but I have to stop the recording now because we are already in 31 minutes. It was actually the longest episode I've ever made. And I'm really happy that you got with me through this episode. If you have any questions, there are all the social media platforms I have in the description. And if there are also any questions, just comment on this YouTube video or write me a DM on all these social media platforms. And thank you for listening and or watching, and I'll see you the next time. Bye.